Previously on Celebach.
My first and only and current girlfriend, ISTJ. It's great that she and I appreciate each other's differences. I basically never go see a doctor unless something is really wrong. For all I know, I could have some sort of undiagnosed condition. In fact, both my ESFJ mom and my ISTJ girlfriend have been diagnosed with certain medical conditions just through routine physical exams. I've known a handful of people who suffer some sort of gluten intolerance or gluten sensitivity, including my ISTJ girlfriend. The thing that fascinates me about it is how they go about figuring out that they have this gluten intolerance. Because it's a process that as an ISTP I can't relate to. Like, aside from celiac disease, which is like the most severe form of gluten intolerance, some people experience like minor symptoms, like headaches, stomach issues, digestive issues, tiredness, lack of energy. These are things that could easily be symptoms of plenty of other things. And like, when I experience one of those things, like if I get a headache, for example, I'll probably just take some Advil or something and then just kind of go on with my day. And I won't stop to think, why am I experiencing this? So a lot of it depends on the person monitoring exactly how they feel before and after they start cutting gluten out of their diet. And I think that comes more easily to people with introverted sensing higher up on their stack. So, basically SJs and possibly INFPs. So, for example, my ISTJ girlfriend, she suspects she's been gluten intolerant her whole life, but she only figured it out when she was in her mid-20s. Basically, she thought that the way she felt all the time was normal, and then she ran across some stuff on the internet, like kind of, I guess, recognized some of those symptoms in herself, started to suspect that maybe she might have issues with gluten. And then once she finally decided to start cutting gluten out of her diet, she says she suddenly felt way better. And my reaction to that is like, well, better than what? Like I said, unless we're talking about full-blown celiac disease, the form of gluten intolerance that she experiences, if she eats gluten, she'll have like maybe a headache and like just kind of feel kind of gross inside. And so if I experienced those symptoms my whole life and I thought that was just normal and I learned to live with it, I wouldn't even think to look into any sort of problem. And even if I did, even if somebody suggested that I try cutting gluten out of my diet for a week and see how I feel, well, the problem with me is, even if I did feel better, I don't think I would notice it because I wouldn't remember how I felt before. And see, I think that's the difference between introverted sensing and extroverted sensing. People who use introverted sensing are actually paying attention to how they feel physically. Whereas extroverted sensing is more about, paying more attention to what's going on around me. What I can detect with my five senses, what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing. Introverted sensing is more, it's internal, it's subjective, it's personal. They have good sensory memory, and so they'll remember how they felt at a certain point in time, and so that they can compare it with how they're feeling at a different time. I don't really do that. I'm not really paying attention to how I'm feeling unless it's like a really severe, unusual pain or something. And in fact, as I thought about the people that I know who are gluten intolerant, whose types I happen to know, I did notice that most of them had introverted sensing as one of their top four functions. So, maybe my ISTJ girlfriend, and maybe some ISFJs, INFP, INTP, you know, with the exception of one INFJ who basically discovered she was gluten intolerant because she ate a giant bagel and had to go to the ER. And then, even then, it took an ESTP with a celiac daughter to suggest that it might have something to do with gluten. And my ISTJ girlfriend has dealt with other medical issues besides the gluten intolerance that required her to eliminate certain things from her diet. I even mentioned in my last video that she discovered a certain medical condition just by a regular doctor's visit. But yeah, she didn't even know. She wasn't even feeling any symptoms until the doctor recommended cutting out certain foods, and she did. And then again, she says she felt so much better when she did that. And again, I'm thinking, better than what? How do you even know that you're feeling better when you didn't realize you were feeling bad in the first place? Well, it's introverted sensing. You just know how you're physically feeling at any point in time. Whereas I just don't pay attention to that. Even if I'm like getting a stomach ache or something, I'll just be like, oh, my stomach feels weird. And then I'll just try to go back to whatever I was doing. Unless it just gets like really debilitating, and then I might consider going to urgent care or something. But otherwise, if I can tolerate it, then I'll just ignore it and then forget about it as soon as it goes away. And what that means is I really can't tell how healthy or unhealthy I am because I feel fine all the time. Well, I mean, not all the time. I do get sick from time to time, but that's just getting sick. But yeah, my overall health, is pretty consistent. So I mean, I have like a general vague awareness that I probably should be eating healthier, but that's more just a mental thing. I just kind of know that I don't always eat healthy things, and I should probably make more of an effort to eat healthier. But even when I do that, I don't notice any changes in how I feel. I feel the same whether I eat a cheeseburger and fries or a salad, other than just slightly annoyed that I didn't get to eat what I wanted to eat. But then I guess that just kind of goes back to the idea that I should go see a doctor at some point for a physical exam and then find out that way just how healthy or unhealthy I am. SJs.